Hey, everybody, welcome back to A Better Way with Kirsten podcast. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Today, I'm going to share with you a really great TMS recovery experience from actually one of my friends who was struggling with back pain and some other things also for several years, but she has now made a full recovery. And I want to read to you what she had to say about her journey, and I hope that it's going to be inspiring and helpful for you. But before that, I want to let you know that my new program, Emotionally Fit, is now out. It came out on Monday, July 22nd. And I'm super excited to share more details about it because this program deals with emotions. And for me personally, this was one of the biggest things that I had to look into in order to start feeling better. Of course, there are other components too, such as, going back to life and not being afraid of things and stop medical treatments and all that. But for me, it was really one of the biggest things that caused a bigger shift. And I started to notice that the more I worked with my emotions, the better I got. So let me tell you a little bit more about Emotionally Fit. This program helps you to reduce physical pain and chronic symptoms by teaching you how to manage, express, and release your emotions in a healthy way. If you have chronic pain or symptoms that have not gone away by using different medical treatments, it's really time to look into something different called TMS. And you're probably aware of it if you're here, but if you're new here, I want to give you a little bit of an idea of what it is. TMS is a condition where the chronic sensations that you feel in the body and that are really, really real, they're coming from your brain and from your nervous system and not from your actual physical body. So in other words, there's no tissue damage. There's no problem with your tissue, with your bones, your muscles, your ligaments, your organs, none of that. The sensations that you feel are actually coming from your brain. And one of the tools that will be really helpful in this case is emotional healing. Even if you have been aware of TMS for a while and used many tools such as brain retraining and repeating yourself that you're safe and maybe positive affirmations, you're calming yourself down, you've stopped going to doctors and so on, but your sensations are still there, I'm almost positive that you have not looked into emotional work yet. And like I said, this for me was a really, really big thing. And this is what this course is going to be about exactly. So, Emotional Fit will help you to understand your emotions better. It will help you to understand you probably are not expressing them, which is what we're going to talk more about in the next episode. You may be thinking, yes, I do express them. I do feel a little sad and sometimes I get a little bit angry. So if emotions are such a big deal, why am I still having these symptoms and sensations? We're going to talk about that in the next episode. But I want to emphasize again that emotional awareness is really, really important, and you may not be even aware that you're not expressing your emotions. And because it was such a big thing for me, I'm also so passionate about sharing the tools that I have learned and that have helped me with you as well. So this brand new course, Emotionally Fit, is out now. It came out on July 22nd. And if you sign up before the end of the day on Sunday, July 28th, you will get two bonuses. One of them is $50 off the full price, and the other one is a bonus one-on-one call with me where I'll help you figure out what are the things that you're possibly suppressing and what can we do about it. What's your goal? What's your game plan, so to speak? So everybody who signs up will get that call with me, and it has to be used in the next 7 weeks. So this is the duration of the course. But of course, you can start the course later too. You don't have to start it as soon as you buy it. You can start it whenever you want to. So I'm super excited to see you in the program, and I hope that you join. If you have any questions about it, then just let me know, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Okay, but as I said, I want to today share with you one of the experiences from my friend, Kat, who allowed me to share her story here. And I'm really hoping that I can also have her on the podcast soon so she can literally talk to you and give you more details and kind of go through her story in more detail, because I think these stories are probably very inspiring. If you have had TMS for a while, maybe you have already found some recovery stories on YouTube, which is wonderful. They are very, very inspiring and uplifting. But I definitely want to have Kat on this podcast as well, so she can share with you in her words what she went through and how she recovered. So what I'm going to read to you today is an email that she sent me. And these are also her words. I have not changed anything about it. I'm just going to add some of my own comments as I go through her email. So here it is. She says, for years, I struggled with chronic lower back pain and discomfort, unaware that my symptoms were not just physical, but also deeply rooted in my mental and emotional well-being. And thinking back to my younger years, before it was back pain, it was a plethora of other ailments and issues with the same root causes. Despite trying almost all the treatments and therapies, my pain and symptoms always persisted, leaving me feeling frustrated and helpless. Okay, I'm going to pause here and go over a couple of key points here. So she says that obviously she tried so many treatments and procedures, and we're going to go into those in a little bit in the next paragraph. But I think that you can probably resonate with that. You have tried a lot of things, such as I tried a lot of things. My biggest thing was going to a chiropractor. I went there for many, many, I wouldn't say years, but a year straight for sure. And then probably a little bit after that too. And sometimes I've been joking that I could have bought a car with this money that I spent there, because it's actually true. I spent there literally like thousands of dollars. And honestly, fixing something that wasn't even physical in nature, it was just money, thrown out the window essentially. But really, this isn't so much about money. It's so much more about frustration that comes with this. Like, how am I so broken? What is wrong with me? Why can nobody figure this thing out? And this is what she's talking about too. And she also says that when thinking back to my younger years before it was back pain, it was also a lot of other ailments and issues with the same root causes. So you may think about yourself too, like, have you had something before this main thing that you're dealing with right now? Maybe you had something else before and it just came and then went away, kind of came back. You had these little things here and there. I often hear about it. A lot of people say, yes, I had like stomach issues since I was a little kid, or something was always hurting, but then it went away. But then usually there comes this like one big sensation that kind of wakes you up. And then you start thinking back to your life after you learn about TMS. You're like, oh, yeah, it is true. I had this and that. So think about it. Is that you too? Does it describe you as well? Okay, so I'm going to continue reading from her message here. She says, in dealing with debilitating pain and excruciating back pain, I sought every exercise, treatment, specialist, medication, recommendation, diet change, even altering the way I stand, walk, sleep, and drive. Nothing made a difference. Lying face down in tears on my living room floor, I finally decided to seek relief via surgery. I could no longer sit or walk at all. I felt it was my only recourse to have surgery. Following the neurosurgeon's successful, in air quotes, successful surgery, I had relief for less than a year before my pain returned. I was even scheduled for a second surgery 2 years later, giving into the idea that something was broken in me that had to be fixed, and clearly more than once. All right, I'm going to pause here again and go over a couple of key points here. So, like I said before, too, she tried so many different things. She mentions exercise treatment, specialist, medication, diet change, even altering the way I stand, walk, sleep, and drive. Okay, so I want to come back to this. Altering the way I stand, sleep, walk, and drive. What this thing does, like if somebody tells you, you really have to watch how you stand, you really have to watch how you sit, you can only sleep at a, 45-degree angle, you have to be, reclined like that. What this stuff does, it makes you more hyper vigilant, and you start monitoring every single way how you move, how you sit, how you stand, maybe even how you put food in your mouth, like literally. And a lot of times those well-meaning healthcare practitioners think that this is the way to go without realizing that this actually makes things worse, because now we become more and more and more afraid of anything, just like functioning in life, right? And we really shouldn't be afraid of that. Our bodies are not so weak, and they don't break as easily as some people tell us that they do. They really don't. And some time ago, I did a video on Instagram, or like a reel, where I showed that you don't have to pick up a sock from the floor with perfect deadlift form. You may have heard that, or whatever you pick up from the floor, even if it's something as light as sock, you have to have, your shoulders pulled back straight, push your hips back, and bend your knees. Like, are you kidding me? You don't have to pick up a light thing such as sock with that. Now, I'm not talking about a pair of heavy dumbbells or barbells. This is absolutely, yes, what you have to do. Even when you move furniture and you have to lift a couch or a heavy box, yes, this is definitely what I want you to do. Pay attention to, is your back straight, and are you keeping your body strong when you're lifting truly heavy things? But when we're talking about a sock, right? And now you start monitoring because a healthcare professional told you that you have to do it this way. This is just nonsense. And I got some comments to that too. And somebody said that, yes, this hypervigilance only made things worse. Like, it made so bad for me. I started literally obsessing about everything. Another person said that her doctor had told her to use a grabber to get stuff up from the floor. So for years, she avoided bending forward. And you can imagine what it does. It tells your brain directly, like, okay, we're not doing this because it's a bad thing. And that only emphasizes or makes that fear of this perception of danger even bigger. So if you truly don't have anything going on in your body, if you have this knowledge, knowing that you do have TMS, you don't have to be afraid of normal everyday movements, and you don't have to monitor how you walk, sit, stand, and any of these things that she's talking about here. And she also said that the neurosurgeon said that this surgery was successful. She's using air quotes here, and says in his words, it was successful. She had a relief for less than a year, right? So what's very, very common for these TMS symptoms, for these mind-body symptoms, is that even if the pain goes away, but it was the wrong treatment, then it will come back either in the same place or it moves to another place. It is super common. So that's why she got a little bit of relief for less than a year. And then she learned, oh crap, I'm broken again. I have to do this again. And this was the time where Kat and I were talking almost daily, or actually at least several times a week. We used to use this app, Marco Polo, and we sent each other videos. And this was the time right before she was scheduled for that second surgery that I had learned about TMS, and I had learned about this guy, John Sarno, and the whole method. And I just knew that she had a lot of stress in her life during that time. And we both had back pain that time, right? And so that was like a thing we talked about. And I was like, hey, you know what? Like, I found this thing. It's TMS. My acupuncturist told me about it. I think I know what this is. I think you would resonate with it. And for some time, she didn't want to try this out, and no blame at all, because most people don't. Most people think it's just a bunch of BS, right? Oh, like what? Like your stress is causing you pain, haha, right? But it really is true. And I'm going to move on to the next chapter in her message. She says, she finishes, okay, I had to get another surgery, and now she continues. But thankfully, fate had other plans. Just before my second surgery, for whatever reason, I finally started reading John Sarno's work that was recommended to me by my good friend Kerstin Kimura. It resonated, as she assured me that it would. And so I continued to research TMS, and I stumbled upon Dr. Howard Schubiner, the Curable app briefly, and then Nicole Sachs' podcast. All this information introduced me to the concept of TMS and the power of mind-body connection. I finally self-diagnosed with tension myositis syndrome, which is TMS, when I was 35 years old. I quickly and readily gave into the idea that my pain was not just a physical issue, but also an emotional and mental manifestation. All right, I'm going to pause here. So all these great people that she found Dr. Schubiner, she found Nicole Sachs, and she found the Curable app. and obviously Dr. John Sarno. So all these people are really great. And the Curable app, I used Curable for a little while, not for too long. And she said also briefly, but it works really well for a lot of people. But these are all the great people that you can check out as well if you want more more resources and want to understand TMS even better. Okay, and then she says it definitely had emotional mental manifestation, and this is the root cause here, right? This is what we're dealing with. The chronic pain, chronic sensation, symptom, whatever you want to call it. It is probably not physically. The physical treatment has not helped you yet. So she says emotional and mental, this was it, right? And now she gets to the what I think is the meat of it. So let me read you the next paragraph. I began to explore the connection between my thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. I started practicing mindfulness, more self-awareness, and authenticity, and journaling to release my thoughts and feelings out of my body. I learned to acknowledge and confront my repressed emotions, stress, and anxiety, rather than suppressing them. I accepted and honored my thoughts and every emotion, which slowly reduced my physical pain. The more I journaled and felt, and the more I accepted that there was nothing wrong with my body, the quicker I began to recover. Okay, I'm going to end here. And I think this piece here is gold. This literally says everything you need to know. And I'm going to go back to pointing out how many times she mentioned thoughts and emotions, which are the true cause of this chronic pain. Okay, so she says, I began to explore the connection between my thoughts, emotions, physical sensations. Great. The next thing she says, I wanted to release my thoughts and feelings out of my body. Okay, another one. Then she says, I confronted my repressed emotions, stress, and anxiety. Again, right? Emotion, stress, and anxiety. And then she says, the more I journaled and felt, right? Feelings, emotions, the more I accepted there's nothing physically wrong with me, the better I got. So this, like I said, this is all you need to know. This is all you need to know. If you don't know how to work with these emotions, that's what my new course is for. So make sure that you check that out and sign up if you have never worked with emotions, because this is really what can make a big, big difference in your recovery too. So I think this was really awesome. And she has a couple more chapters here, two more, and I'm going to read them to you. The next one is this. Treating TMS starts as a daily or weekly effort, and over time it lessened. Today, I still have to do maintenance work occasionally, though not often, since I practice more mindfulness on a daily basis. It's been 3 years with zero pain. I work out, I go on long trips, I jump on trampolines, ride jet skis, do flips, backbends, handstands, all with no back concerns. I carried my child to term 1 year after my TMS recovery with zero back pain throughout pregnancy or after delivery. Okay, so all the things that you can do, isn't it wonderful? We all want to do it, right? And it's all possible. So she says zero pain, but she also points out that I have to do some maintenance work, but not so much because I am more mindful person anyway, right? On a daily basis, I practice mindfulness. I think that's really, really important. If you don't do any of it and you're always stressed out, you're rushing, trying to get like a million things done, you never sit down, then it's very difficult to recover like that. So you have to become more mindful, calm your system down, inhale, exhale, let things be, not try to always like, fix stuff and be in action. Mindfulness is so much more about just slowing down and becoming more aware. So this is what she is describing here. And when you are this way, this is a signal of safety for your brain. And that's why I start to feel better. And then finally, she says, I have developed a greater appreciation for the interconnectedness of physical and mental health, and I've become more compassionate and understanding towards myself and others. I can spot the TMS symptoms fairly easily now in others around me, but it's hard to teach TMS, particularly with people who are focused on their body's brokenness. Yes. I only hope that they can accept the idea and find relief someday as well. I'm so grateful to Kersten and all others spreading this work. It's a shame that doctors don't start there. I hope that my story will inspire others to explore the emotional and mental aspects of their physical pain and seek help and support when needed. Okay, that was the end. Okay, a couple of other points here that I want to emphasize is that she says that it's hard to teach this to people who are focused on how broken their bodies are. Absolutely true. And the other thing that I couldn't agree with more is that it's a shame that doctors don't start there. I agree with this 100 million percent. How many people get surgeries and medications and things like that while they actually never had a physical problem, just like Kat did, right? She got a back surgery, and luckily she didn't get the second one, but she got one. And I've seen people, I've heard, I remember one guy from one of the success stories who said he got 7 surgeries in his thoracic area, only to find out eventually that it was all just TMS and nothing in his body needed to be cut open or removed or replaced or any of that because there's no physical issue. So I think the story is really great because she really talks so much about the emotional health, the impact of stress, mindfulness. These were the things that healed her. And she actually got well pretty quickly. And it's not going to be so quick for everybody. It definitely hasn't been so quick for me. But she said that she recovered in about 2 months, I think she said. She started to feel better like 2, 3 weeks into doing this work. And in 2, 3 months, she was like, okay, it's gone. So I know that this is a pretty quick recovery, very quick actually. Most people don't get there as soon, but she also went all in and she totally accepted the idea that this is not physical. So I think this is really the number one thing that you have to know in your heart that okay, this is not physical. And that's why it's important that you have been checked out by, made sure that there's nothing physically wrong, like your x-rays are clean and all the tests come back, they're clean, there's nothing clearly wrong with you. Or if there is something quote unquote wrong, then different practitioners give you different answers, so there's no like one consensus like okay, this is it, like this is a broken leg. If it's not like that, it's like yeah, it could be this, could be that, take this supplement, try that, and nothing helps, then it is probably TMS. And if this is the case, then you have to stop looking for the physical cause, physical reason, because it probably isn't there. It is in your emotions, so in your heart, it is in your mind, so it's in your head, not in a negative way, like, oh, it's in your head, not like that, but it is happening in your brain, right? That's why you're having these sensations. It's nothing physical. So I hope you enjoyed this story, and I really want to tell you one more time that Emotionally Fit is available right now. So you can sign up for it whenever you want to, but it's only during the first week that you get that $50 discount if you use the code 50OFF. And you also get one 50-minute call with me if you sign up before Sunday, July 28th. So definitely check out the page where you get all the information. I'm going to obviously drop it in the show notes below. And you can also find information about it on Instagram. If you're on my emailing list, you get the email about it too, or a couple of emails even. And also during this week, I'm doing several Instagram lives where you can tune in and see. I'm going to tell you talk to you about different parts of recovery and the emotional work to bring you even more clarity. And I hope that you're going to join me and love the lives. All right. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you and talk to you again very soon. Take care.